I just start off by obviously saying thank you, obviously all you guys that were there, but not just us, but the whole crew that was there Saturday. I mean, from the officials to the people in the stands to probably the ER crew. I think we had our first ever almost 100 people that had to be escorted out and taken and handled with the heat. I know we lost 2 officials before the game really even got rolling. One guy went down before the game started, and the head ref went down about 4 minutes into the first quarter. So for you that stuck around and stayed with the 130-degree heat down there on the field, I appreciate it. I thought our guys battled hard, and really we weren't as affected by it nearly as much as we might have thought. I think we had 2 guys, that's it, that really even cramped up. And we can't remember the last time that we had played in a game where the field was 130 degrees. And I know our offense played 79 snaps. That's a lot of snaps with 130 degrees. Defensively, we're probably a little bit better off. We only played 49 snaps. So, but to everybody, not just them, but our trainers and everybody who prepared our guys to handle that, I want to thank them too. So probably just open it up now and usually start with Tim, because he's usually the first question anyway, right?
Just my arm goes straight up. Hey, Luke, real quick, do you expect to get the 3 guys who were suspended last week back this week? And then number 2, when you watched the video, like you said, first thing you were going to watch was the 4th quarter and special teams. Just what was your impression on Sunday as you went over that?
Yeah, those 3 guys will be available for us this week. I thought the first thing I did when I came in was put on the very last kickoff. It was 42-0. I think there was 6 minutes to go in the game, and I just wanted to see how we ran down, what kind of enthusiasm we'd have. Like I said, at 130 degrees, some of those guys going down for their 7th time or 6th time, however many times each one of them took. But I was impressed. There was some excitement about it. There were guys that weren't lagging behind. There were some guys got knocked down and got right back up. So there were some battles. And to me, that's what we wanted to look for. We wanted to look for those things that don't come up in the normal stats that maybe you guys all recognize, or anybody, even when I get the stats after the game, that before you even watch the film, you don't see a lot of the things that we're looking for. So that was what, to me, I felt best about on Sunday morning when I had the ability to watch not only that last kickoff, but the effort in the 4th quarter.
Luke, could you, after looking at the film, assess the play of the quarterbacks and where that situation stands?
I thought they both played well. I thought, like you said, a lot of the things that go unnoticed, touchdown passes and long completions don't go unnoticed, but the way they handled themselves on the field, on the sideline, the enthusiasm, the things that they showed, I think, what I was most impressed with. I didn't have a lot of worries that they wouldn't be successful with doing the things we were asking them to do, throwing the football and managing the things we were asking them to manage. But I was impressed to see some of the emotion, to see some of the competitive nature, to see those kinds of things come out, that leadership ability, and also how they were on the sideline as well.
Do you anticipate the same kind of play breakdown this week?
Yeah, I mean, again, we're going to continue to keep those guys both in the fold and figure out how this team comes together and what's best for it.
You had to come up with replacements for 3 players, 2 starters, and a backup just in the last 40 hours before the game. First of all, could you talk a little bit about how those players played, the 3 that stepped in right away, and also just the replacements for the other suspended players? That, I mean, you knew that you had lost seniors from a year ago, but you've had to kind of adapt and replace a lot of other guys who have been suspended. That's why you talk about how they played.
Yeah, we had 2 corners, really. One was a redshirt freshman that started, and Bradley Roby, and Dominic Clark, who started really on the other side, and because Travis wasn't there, so either one of those 2 guys were going to be new. Both of them played well. I thought they were poised. They made the plays when they came their way. Obviously, we're always going to be critical and find ways we can get better with them. But out there on the field, there wasn't a lapse there. I think they both had great confidence in what they were doing. I think who else filled in? Duran was the 3rd corner, but I mean he probably didn't get into a little bit after, so things were it was calm. But again, those guys all showed up. They stepped up. They didn't dwell on it. They weren't worried about the guys we were missing, and they stepped forward just like the tailbacks. Without Jordan Hall being there, the difficult thing going the game was we only had 2 guys available to us. We didn't even have a 3rd guy that had been a scout team tailback that could take a snap. So, we had 2 tailbacks and 3 fullbacks, and that's all we had going in the football game. And those guys shared the load, and I thought they stepped up. I didn't, not that I didn't expect them to. Whether we had 3 or 4 tailbacks playing in the game, to me, I want to see the same exact things, whether they got 6 carries or they got 12 carries. But I think, to me, the most important thing is the attitude. The attitude that the guys had that obviously weren't with us, the attitude the guys had that did have to step up and take their spots. That nobody batted an eye at it, nobody worried, nobody whined. To me, that's more of the things that I want to see.
Coach, if you could talk about your relationship with Tim Beckman, how often do you guys keep in touch, and what's it like coaching against somebody who used to be in the Buckeye family?
Actually, I haven't, sometimes as coaches you get so busy you don't stay in touch nearly as much. Unfortunately, we're probably like the young men on our teams nowadays. We text more than we even get a chance to talk to guys on the phone. But obviously, Coach Beckman was with us for 2 years. Got to know him and his family very well. So, they were down here all summer for our camps and things, and we got a chance to spend some time then. But, just the whole, your chances to really stay in touch week to week are a little bit more difficult, as busy as everybody is. But obviously, it's anytime you're playing somebody there's a familiarity. But it's just like if I was playing my brother. Sometimes I'm not sure that doesn't make you even want to do it a little bit more. That you know who that is, and you're a competitive nature, and you know what kind of competitive nature they are, and that's the exciting thing about it. But they're great people. He's not the only one we know from that staff. I think there might be 4 or 5 guys that have been here at one point in time, whether they were GAs or guys. Obviously, they've all worked our camp, so we know them very well, and know what kind of great people they are, what kind of great program they've run.
Back here, Luke.
Last week you said that you didn't know how you were going to respond, how you were going to do certain things, that you actually did it. You had a chance to do it this first game, Saturday. How do you evaluate yourself over the first game from start to finish? And how big a moment was running onto the field for the first time as head coach? What does that rank at?
You know what? Again, I don't let myself, try and get into those things where I think about how exciting was it to run on the field, and where does that rank at, or what kind of moment is it for me? To me, you said it. It's a focus, and yes, it was great. To me, I was more focused on, I was more excited to see what kind of effort our guys would put on the field than, how I would feel running out onto the field leading the team. That'll be some time maybe think about it, look back at it. If you have it on film, it's everything on film, I'm sure. But that's not something I've thought about a whole lot. How we made some decisions in the game. It was, just flopping back and forth between the offense and the defense, and want to make sure that you're much more involved with the defense and calling stuff on defense, that you're communicating a little bit better with them at times. So sometimes I had to stop myself from getting caught up in the, in between series and, hey, let's go back here and draw on the board. This is what I want to see from the defense when, hey, you got to be there and you got to be on the headset and make sure that offensively, we've got our game plan, and we had gone through it on Thursday and Friday night about some of the situations of what we wanted to do, but to really be there on the headset to reiterate it to them, that was the only thing that I was finding myself to make sure that I wasn't all of a sudden getting back there and drawing up things on a board when I needed to be out front, just making sure that in case the offense had a question or needed anything and they knew what the situation was, that I could communicate with them. So still balancing those things out. I think that's the whole thing. I think I was just asked that. One of the more difficult things about me learning to be a head coach is truly trusting everybody else to do their job. And sometimes that's where I got to do a better job. And, hey, I trust him. Coach Bowman doesn't need me on the headset. He doesn't need me to tell him run the football or throw the ball down the field here. Or, Coach Haycock and them, they can get the adjustments and do all that over there on the side. And, you got to make sure your mind is focused on the whole picture.
Did you call all the plays?
What's that?
Did you call all the plays?
Offensively? No, I didn't call any plays offensively.
Now you got to end around.
And in defensively, we do a lot of things collaboratively. So,
Luke, you played a ton of freshmen in this game, and several of them played very well. Evan with that great catch. Devin gets a touchdown. Braxton threw a couple as well. Mike, I think, got a sack too. Obviously, a lot's expected of this freshman class, but as you've looked at film and stuff, did they even maybe exceed what you guys thought was possible for them in week 1?
No, I think they did a good job. Again, we knew we were going to be in a situation that we were going to need them to step up and play. And, regardless of who we're playing, we're going to need those guys. And I think they've done a good job. They've shown that throughout camp. Sometimes, it's we go through camp and you're like, I'm not sure how good this guy is, or how he's going to show out in front of 106,000. But you forget he's been going against some great people across from him all during camp. So I think that was the first time for them to kind of show a little bit, and all of a sudden they're not going against Mike Adams or somebody like that. That he is good. Just because they're a freshman. But I think getting under their them getting their first time out there to know that we have enough confidence in them, I think is a big thing, because I think freshmen or whatever, confidence level is something. Just showing that you believe in them, that you'll put them out there, and it doesn't. That's what I think the best thing that happened to us. We had adversity. It was 7-0 in the first quarter, and we had a 130-degree temperature. To me, that was adversity that we needed to see, and see how our guys respond, whether they were freshmen or seniors anyway. So I think they did a good job, and we're going to continue to push them to grow, though.
Luke, a couple tailback questions. One, do you think Jamal Berry will be back this week? Two, Rod Smith's fumble, was there anything on the film that you saw with that? And how did you thought Rod came back after that early mistake? And with Jordan being back, can you get, good amounts of carries for 3 different guys this week, or do you expect it would be more, 2 guys?